Hey everybody, welcome back to ETA Files. Today's episode is something a little different, and honestly a real treat. We're talking with the two men behind the upcoming ETA Spectacular birthday tour this January, producer Omar Farag and director Dan Lentino. These guys have shaped stages, careers, and memories across the ETA world for decades, and today we get to sit down and talk about the tour, the history, and what makes this show so special. So settle in. This is going to be a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this week on ETA Files. This is a little bit of a different one, and I'm so happy to do it. We have with us the one and only Omar Farag from Omar Presents. Omar, man, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, man, it's great to be here, Ryan. I've seen your Files podcast, and they're great. And hey, we've known each other for an awful long time.
It goes back, doesn't it? And
it does, doesn't it?
I think the first year might have been 98, 99.
Yeah, I remember the first year. Remember we sat in that restaurant right after the first time, like you did 3 songs, and we're sitting in a restaurant at Denny's or something like that after the show, and a guy walks up and he says, Jerry Garcia and Elvis? I'll never forget that. That was a great one.
I think we've gotten that more than one time, actually.
I think so. Probably.
Over the years. Yeah, we can't be Omar and Ryan. We're just going to be Jerry Garcia and Elvis.
Hey, it could be a lot worse than that. That's not bad.
Yeah, for sure. I got to tell you, Omar, having you on is just an honor. You've got a massive career in terms of promoting shows. And, obviously I know you from the Elvis world, but you do so much, and you have done so much over the years in promoting some amazing shows. Tell a little bit about your business and how you got started with that and some of the big acts. I mean, I remember working with you on certain shows where you had Chubby Checker and Brian Hyland and so many other amazing groups. Tell us about
I've had a lot. I mean, any oldies act that's out there, I've promoted. I mean, I started by doing, I used to do some gigs in college, okay? And then I liked them. It was a lot of fun throwing big parties.
Yeah.
And the big parties, it graduated into when I got out of college, I would always do these dances at little places. And then this theater opened up near me called Star Plaza Theater. Bruce White, my man, who's not with us, unfortunately. But he opened this theater and they needed a date. Somebody canceled. And so my brother Henry and I came up with a show, and it did well. And we were off and running.
Yeah. And
that was in 1980, 79, 80. I think it was February of 80. Yeah, that's when I started making money doing it, Although my dances I made money with. And that was actually, we had good crowds. We did good. So graduated into theaters. And then and oldies was in its heyday, 80s and 90s, and 2000, early 2000s. And so we started doing shows at Star Plaza. Then I'll never forget, we went to Cleveland. That was the first outside show we did. And then we went to South Bend. I'll never forget, we did South Bend, and I had Bo Diddley on there. I had Freddie Cannon. We must have had 10 different acts. And it was the same day that JR, you remember that JR Dallas show?
Yeah.
Well, it was the same day that they found out who shot JR. Well, we wouldn't have known that ahead of time. And so our show was a flop. And it was a disaster. The review from the show, the guy, his headline was, "Welcome to my nightmare." I mean, it was a disaster. And that's the first show we did away from Star Plaza. And, when you do shows on the road, you got to get sound, lights, catering, transportation. You got all kind of crazy stuff to do. That was much easier to do at Star Plaza. And it was just a disaster. My band leader, unbeknownst to me, was, well, I don't want to say it, but he got inebriated.
Oh.
And in fact, it got to the point where Freddie Cannon ended up playing drums. It was nuts. It was a crazy scene. So, but after that, we learned.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from that real quick.
Yeah. Man,
And
never go up against Dallas and JR getting shot. And who did it?
Well, but see, what happened was they never advertised it. You know, when you're going to do a show, you've got to you need at least 3 months. Well, they announced that 3 weeks before. So when we had our date, we didn't know that. I would have never done that, but we had no choice.
Yeah.
So, you know, so that was the first outside. And then I remember not long after that, we went to Cleveland and sold the place out.
Yeah.
And had a great show. And we were off and running then. I mean, I've done shows in almost every state in the union.
Yeah.
And any oldies act you could think of, Chuck Berry and Frankie Valli, and I mean, you can name them all. I mean, one I liked was Blue Suede Shoes, the original Blue Suede Shoes guy.
Carl Perkins.
Carl Perkins, yeah. Carl Perkins was great. Lou Christie, who passed not long ago. Yeah. I sit I'm in a room where I put up a few posters, and so it gives me a chance to try and remember. I did. I've done, Vienna Choir Boys. I've done.
Yeah.
I mean, I promoted all kind of stuff.
I had the opportunity early on. There was a couple festivals where they wanted, you were putting on the festival, and they would say,
"Oh, that's right, yes."
You would throw me in, just for a short little.
Cincinnati, I remember we had you on.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yep, and I got to meet all these great legend acts, and this is just first when I started out, Omar. So it was really cool for me to get immersed in a way that not most people get immersed in, and just to, kind of learn and watch and observe how these people conducted themselves. That's a huge thing as a young guy coming up, to be able to see and be able to emulate maybe later on the professionalism that some of these guys had.
Yeah, it's an important lesson. Yeah. It is a very important lesson, because if you don't learn that, you're not gonna make it. Yeah. You're just not gonna make it. The road is a tough place.
Yep.
And you got to learn how to conduct yourself with people, and then how to do a show. I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think you've learned very well, because you do an excellent job. You know how to deal with an audience. You know how to deal with the backstage BS. And there's a lot of different things that go into producing an event.
Oh yeah.
That fans and clients don't really see and shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because, the one thing I deal with is imagination, and I never want to destroy somebody's imagination. And that's sort of how I try and conduct and tell people that I work with that it's really important. Don't make excuses for yourself ever on stage, because, you're hurting their imagination, and I don't ever want to do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it's a fun business.
Yeah.
The rewards are immense.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing I like is doing a good show and watching an audience leave that theater happy and excited.
Yeah.
I mean, that for me, that's the reward. That's the juice.
Right.
That's really why I do this stuff. So
yeah. I've had the opportunity to produce a little bit, certainly not on your level. And one thing that in doing that, and like you said, there's lessons to be learned and whatnot, and along the way. But one of the things that wearing kind of your shoes was, man, it's so nice when you have acts and band members and the pieces of the puzzle that are in service to the project and to the show. And that's one thing that I never got until I tried, wearing your hat, so to speak. And so whenever I come on tour with you, that's what I try to do, because I feel like, man, the history of it and whatnot, it's built on the shoulders of giants. Certainly, you all the way back to the 79, 80, starting this thing out, or starting your business out anyways. But, I'm just a blip on the radar for a short time. And I try to, and man, you've been so great. You gave me a shot when I first started. The first show I did with you was at Star Plaza in this beautiful 3,500 seat theater.
Right.
Yeah, I
remember I hired you from a photograph.
Yeah.
You sent a photograph to a Cincinnati radio station. Yeah. And I'm in their office, and they showed me the photograph. And I said, my God, really? Let's get a hold of this guy. I want this guy.
Yeah.
And so we put you on stage and never even heard you.
Yeah.
You know, but you're the one who carried the ball after.
Wow.
You're the one who was able to go up on stage, show that humility, sing that good song, and steal the hearts of the audience, which is a talent. That doesn't happen simply. You know, that's not an easy thing to do. And so that was in what, 19?
It was 98 or something, 7 or 8, yeah. Something like that. Yeah, man.
So it's been crazy. 25, 30 years. Wow.
Crazy how the time passes, man. It's
no joke. It is. Yeah.
I've got a great story. I'm going to share this. Okay, I don't know if you remember this. Back when I was working with you, we were doing those oldie shows with WGRR and whatnot. You hired me on a Christmas show. Okay. And, what's the guy who sings Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer?
Yeah. Dr. Elmo.
Yes. Dr. Elmo was there. And the dressing rooms, you know, it was indoors, obviously around Christmas.
The Taft Theater.
Yep. Taft Theater. Exactly. And him and I shared a dressing room, and it was cool hanging out with Dr. Elmo and talking to him.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. I still hear from him every year, all the time.
So he does his song, you know, does his bit, and he's gone. Well, he left this envelope in the room full of cash.
Oh my God, I didn't know this.
And I think Terry Ann was working with you at the time.
Yeah, Terry Ann. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I took it to her, and it's like I think he left his pay. But I remember that. So, and he was very grateful and whatnot, and didn't look at it. Just I figured that's what it was, and but that's a great story, man, because he was.
Yeah. Back then, we used to pay in cash.
Yeah.
You know, guys wanted cash, and. You know, I finally changed that to checks, no more cash. Because you know what happened? I'll tell you another story. We're doing a show in New York, and I'm bringing cash out, and I lost it.
Oh.
I think it fell out of my pocket, something, I lost it. And it was your pay. I don't know if you remember, because I had to give you a check. And from then on, I said, no more cash. I'm not carrying any cash, no more.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy how the world changes, man, you know, and nobody deals with cash anymore. So,
right. Nobody does. Yeah.
So when did you first come up with the idea for the Elvis birthday tribute tour?
Well, I had a friend who was a security guy at the Star Plaza, and great guy. He did security for the theater. He did security for the White Sox.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember his name now. He passed away. Great guy. I love this guy. Darn it, what was it? Anyway, but he kept telling me, you know, you should do an Elvis show, you know, and I kept thinking, an Elvis show? Are you serious? Really? You know, and this was in about 1984, 85. And Elvis's birthday, we came up with a thought that Elvis's birthday's in January. Well, theaters were dying for product in January in the Midwest because people didn't want to go out in January. Artists did. And advertising was cheap. You could get what you wanted for advertising because advertisers had nothing to advertise. And so I said, well, let's give it a whirl. You know, what the heck? I talked the theater into saying okay, and so we did it, and it just like the first show we did at Star Plaza, we about sold it out. And then we branched out to other theaters.
Yeah.
And I remember I had Rick Saucedo on that show. I can't even remember who I had. I probably have a poster up here.
Was Trent Carlini early on?
Trent Carlini was, I think he was on that first show.
Yeah.
I think Trent was. I got a poster over here of Trent, who's not with us anymore, unfortunately. Trent was a great performer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, he was so good. And Rick, well, he's the Godfather. You know what I mean? He's, you know, I keep trying to get him on a show, and he sort of doesn't want to get in front of a big crowd now, I think, you know. Yeah. But hey, Rick looks good, sounds great. I love Rick.
Dude, Rick is awesome. I interviewed Rick on here, and I have a story I told that very first time that you had me at the Star Plaza. I was so nervous, Omar. I mean, I'd never been on a stage like that ever. And I'm backstage just nervous and pacing. And Rick Saucedo, who's a legend.
Yes, right.
Come up to me and he put his arm around me and said, "Hey man, it's just entertainment. Relax, go out there and have fun.
Nice.
People want you to succeed out there, go have fun with them. They're your family, and embrace it." And all this stuff, man, this guy didn't have to tell me, but he sure did.
He didn't have to. No, that's Rick though. Rick was a cool guy. Really,
still is,
talented
man.
Guy too.
Yeah, and his original music is awesome.
Oh yeah, man. And you know what? Even today, Rick can sing very well, and he looks fabulous.
Yeah.
No, you can't. I mean, Rick for me is he's the man.
He got those hips replaced, and he's like he's awesome now. He's like, man, I love it.
Oh, he got his hips replaced. Oh, good,
yeah,
good.
He's out there walking. We
got to talk him into coming on to the show. We want him on the show just to do a song or just to say hello.
Yeah, man. Rick, Rick.
Every year I leave him a message. Yeah. Every year I leave him a message. He knows he can just come to my show anytime. I'll put him right on stage if he wants. If he died, Hey, Rick is the man.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he really he's one of the innovators of this industry.
Absolutely.
And what I mean about that is the tribute artist industry. Elvis was the first tribute artist, and Rick is one of the first who started. I mean, he did it on Broadway.
Yep. He was doing it on Broadway while Elvis was still alive.
Oh, exactly. He started this when Elvis was still alive, right? Yeah. He used to play a theater in Valparaiso, Indiana, and he'd sell it out all the time.
Yeah.
I had a brother who had a group called Stormy Weather, and they would sing on the same show with him. They were an a cappella group. Yeah.
Yeah. Great memories, man, of that tour. And there's so many just that, have come and gone. Great talents over the years. And I'll tell you, the first time that I did that show, Rick was on it. I got to see Shawn Klush for the first time, and my jaw dropped. I was like,
Shawn, and he still can do it. It's amazing.
Yep. And then
go ahead.
No, just it's so amazing the talent that you've had over the years. Guys like the Doug Churches, the Irv Casses, the Jamie Aaron Kellys.
Yeah. I've had them all. I mean, I should look around here because I got all sorts of names of guys we've had on. You mind if I get up and walk over and see some?
Go ahead, check it out, man.
Here, let's see.
I remember in Cincinnati, we used to have Steve Chuk.
Right.
We had so many. It's great, man. Great memories.
So here I'm looking at one here. Trent Carlini, Ray Gilmet.
Ray, yes.
Travis Dean, Irv Cass, DJ Fontana, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, now here, I'm going to show you a picture, though. Here's a good picture. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's Rick and Irv.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Shawn? Yeah. Look at that.
I think that's the first year, too. Yeah, that's the first year.
That might be. Might be. Yeah, you did the military stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. What else? Let me see. I got others. Where do I have another Alice one? Oh, here's another one. Who do we have on this? We've got Trent Carlini, Rick Saucedo. Anybody else? Those two, the Big John, DJ Fontana, the Jordanaires.
Yes.
I love having the Jordanaires. Yeah.
Great memories, man.
Oh, here's a Let the Good Times Roll show. The Shirelles, the Vogues, the Contours, the Fleetwoods, the Tokens. Oh, yeah. The Drifters. Oh, yeah. These are great. I love these posters. I put them all up here. All right, I'm going to just show you around. I don't know if you can.
Oh, yeah.
See any of that. Oh, yeah, there's a poster of the Vienna Choir Boys.
Yeah.
And then I did some contemporary stuff for a lot of years and still do. It was called the Sunshine Fest. John Hyatt and the Jayhawks and Wilco. Yeah, I had Wilco. This was Wilco's first outdoor gig.
Very cool.
You know who Wilco is?
No.
Okay. Well, they're sort of they're a very contemporary, very good group out of Chicago. Really good group.
Okay. So, do you have the poster for I believe it was called Gutenfest in Bern,
Oh,
Switzerland.
yeah. I don't have that up here. I should have that.
That was a great one.
That was great. Oh, that was really, wasn't that a fun show?
There's like 10,000 people out there, Omar.
Oh, yeah, at least. Well, yeah, let me tell you a story about that show. Okay. So we're sitting, we do our rehearsal, and Alanis Morissette was the main closing act. Okay. Yeah. And so they had thousands of people there. And in our place, it was all empty. Okay. She's singing. Okay. And so we're rehearsing and we're ready to start the show now. There's nobody in there. Yeah. 20, 30, 40, 50 people. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be pretty ugly. And then after about 10 minutes, we had a couple hundred come in. Then after about 20 minutes, we had a couple thousand. Then after a half hour, the place was packed. I mean, it was packed with at least 10,000 people in there. And they're all singing the songs and knowing all the words.
Yep.
And they would do this. Remember, they would do this.
Yeah.
If they liked to, Oh, man, it turned out to be a great show.
And that's the show, too, where the bass player couldn't make the flight and we had to fly someone in from Trinidad, I think. And just give them the charge and let's go.
What happened was I remember walking into the room and seeing the band and they're saying, yeah, our bass player couldn't come. I said, well, we're at a music festival. We got to have people here who can play bass. It's not too different. And so we found somebody.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. He was he had the dreads and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So,
man, I never in my life have I understood the concept of stage diving, but I kid you not, Omar, there was a part of me that night.
You were ready to do it.
I was like, I'm going to do it.
That
Omar's going to kill me.
I couldn't believe they were so appreciative.
Yeah.
In fact, that was the trip I met my wife.
Really?
In Milan, Italy. Yeah, I took a train to Milan and we met. Anyway, that's where we met.
Very cool, man.
That was pretty wild.
A lot of great history, man.
Oh, yeah.
So this year, for the Elvis birthday tribute tour, you kind of changed things up. The weekends kind of flip-flopped. So it's a little different, but I'm just going to read off the dates real quick. And if you have anything to say about any of them in particular, because there's some great venues here. The Elvis birthday tribute tour in 2026 starts in Cleveland, Ohio at the State Theater down on Playhouse Square on the 8th, which is the birthday of January, Thursday the 8th. That's a beautiful theater.
Oh, isn't it great? Let me just tell you a quick little thing about that theater. It has the largest hallway, what do you call it? Quarter. There are 3 theaters under one roof.
Yeah.
And it's the largest on the East Coast. I mean, it's a huge theater complex that is so ornately beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I recommend anybody go there and take a tour of this theater. It is gorgeous.
Yep. And one of my favorites to perform at too, because one of my favorite things about that particular theater, these old vaudeville theaters,
Oh yeah.
When they're beautiful, but the sound is incredible too.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So we have, and over the years, you've taken us to a number of those and they're all just fabulous. We're going to travel from Cleveland down to Indianapolis for Friday, the 9th of January to the Murat Theater, which is downtown, right?
Yes, right. Mm-hmm.
Is this the same one?
One of those old complexes.
Yep. Is this the same theater we've been playing in Indy?
Well, in Indy, we played a lot of places.
Right.
We did Pike High School, which was a great theater.
Yeah.
Then we did the Carmel Performing Arts Center. That was the brand new one.
Yep.
And then we've gone to the Egyptian Room.
Yes.
And then now we're at the Murat, which is a great theater. So we've traveled around in Indianapolis.
So yeah, the Egyptian Room is in the same complex, correct?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you're backstage in Indy, there, that theater that you saw, like that was kind of back. You can access both theaters from backstage, but that's the theater we're going to be at. It's more of a traditional like vaudeville almost style theater, right?
Exactly. Yes, proscenium theater. Yes, yeah. It is.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome because I would go in there just to warm up, and the acoustics are great in there. So you'd be on that stage, it'd be empty, but you could just sing and warm up your voice and whatnot. So I'm excited to be there this year. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be great. My favorite place, though, is the next state, though.
Yes.
Nothing against Indianapolis. I love Indianapolis. But Cincinnati is just, it's a modern theater. So it has all the accoutrements of a contemporary facility. So the dressing rooms are good, easy to catering in it, easy to load in, load out. The older theaters that we go to, which I love, are not actually. They all started out as movie theaters, so they didn't have a lot of the backstage facilities that you could use. Right. The dressing rooms are little and all of that. But in Cincinnati, we're at the
Aronoff.
Yes, which is top shelf.
Yeah, you go out on stage during rehearsal and whatnot. You just see this triple decker, and it's beautiful
with the cool seats and all. Oh yeah, great acoustics. Oh yeah.
Yep. So we'll be traveling a little trip down to Cincinnati then on the Saturday the 10th, and then Sunday the 11th. I always enjoy it down there, Louisville, the Brown Theater. It's kind of it's always usually on a Sunday. So it's, last night and whatnot. It's kind of awesome to be down there in beautiful Louisville. And
they have the Brown. The Brown has that. This is a facility that was, back in the 30s, 40s, very popular. They had invented this Brown
sandwich. Sandwich.
and it's great because our hotel connects right to the theater, which is really nice. In January, you don't have to go outside at all, and it's a great theater, nice, intimate, 1,500 seats, very comfortable.
Yep. And then the following day, January 12th on Monday, I have a birthday. I'm actually happy my birthday's not on one of the tour dates. It's all, it happens almost every year where it coincides, but I hate we're celebrating Elvis's birthday and then someone in the audience yells out happy birthday. So I hate that. And they're talking to me. So
it's cool. We all enjoy it. We love it. It's a chance for us to party some more.
Maybe we'll have some pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The second weekend of the tour starts on the 15th of January. We kick it off in Skokie, Illinois at the North Shore Performing Arts Center. That's an awesome theater as well.
Yeah, it really is. That's a great theater. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's a very, once again, like Louisville, it's intimate, but this one's very modern. Yeah. So once again, we have the good dressing rooms, the easy in and out, very comfortable to do. The seating is great, the comfortable seats.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great. I love going there. We've been doing there,
and it's nice too when and a lot of people don't realize this, but whenever the hotel is close, man, that's so convenient. It really is.
Really is. It really is. That's why we try and get them as close to the facility as possible.
That's why and to this day, the Star Plaza was my favorite, but that's why the Star Plaza was so awesome.
Man. Somebody just put something online about Star Plaza the other day, and I really missed it. I drive by there a lot, and it's an empty lot. Yeah. They tore it all down. And the guy who ran it, Bruce White, is not with us anymore. It's unfortunate. Great guy.
Yeah,
certainly do miss him and miss that theater. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a shame, man.
I love doing shows there.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Then we're going to take a little trip north over to Rockford on the 16th, Friday the 16th. Something new that has come up over the past couple of years, performing at casinos. We're going to be at the new Hard Rock Casino in Rockford. What's your thoughts on, we kind of talked about the old vaudeville style theaters, the more modern ones like the Aronoff, and now, also these, casinos that's ultra modern, a little different, obviously the ability to, change the seating and whatnot for whoever.
Exactly. They like that boxing and wrestling and concerts.
Yeah.
So they're set up not strictly for concerts like an Aronoff is, or like the Skokie facility is. The casino theaters, they have to change because of the boxing, wrestling, and whatever else they have.
Right.
Which takes away from the intimacy that you have in the other theaters, but they're great because they're located in great spots, and you know, there's some that you can have hotels that are connected. That's what, or at least close by, which really makes it good.
Yeah.
And you know, they're doing a lot of business. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a natural thing. Unfortunately, kids under 21 can't go, which is really, it hurts. I don't like that.
Right.
You know, that's a detriment to it. But boy, we're able to do really good shows with good sound.
And they usually always have the big LED walls too, which is great.
They have all the stuff, man, all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
More than the other theaters.
Yeah.
They'll have good screens and stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Then we take a trip down to a place where we've been many times before, down in Aurora, to the Paramount Theater. That's an older vaudeville kind of style theater too. Love that.
Place. It's a gorgeous place. It's a gorgeous place. Yeah. I love that place. We're so happy we're going back there.
Yeah. When you walk in, it's so funny because how low the ceiling is in the back part of the theater. And then once you get past, and it's the balcony is up above it, but once you get in there and you turn around and look, it's massive.
Yes, it's massive. And the ceiling is so awesome. They got like clouds on the ceiling and that. It's very lighting on the ceiling that really it mystifies you. It's really a beautiful place.
Yeah. And then we head down the final one, and it's so nice. You'll be home.
My hometown.
Gary, Indiana, Northern Indiana Hard Rock on the 18th of Sunday to kind of close it out, at least the first 2 weeks. So it's going to be an awesome tour, man. 8 dates, and it's so great. All the relationships built over the years, people that come out again and again and again. I look forward to seeing someone different that I know at every venue. And honestly, Omar, I couldn't thank you enough because you took a chance on me, and I'm so thankful.
Well, hey, you paid it back 100-fold.
Right.
Hey, one thing I do want to mention though is if anybody wants to get tickets, the easiest thing to do is go to ETAspectacular.com.
Yes.
And don't be buying those scalp guys and all of that. Go to ETAspectacular.com so you can get the tickets at the real price.
Right. And make sure it's the right site too, because there's a number of sites out there that if you just Google it, you might get sent to the wrong site. And
right, exactly.
And it'll look the same, but man, it'll be like, 3 times the price. And because you're not actually getting a ticket that goes through the ticketing system, you might show up and you don't have a seat.
Right. That it's a big danger nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's such a ripoff. I mean, we try and keep our ticket prices applicable to the ability of our clients.
Yeah.
And when I see them doubling, tripling the price, and people get duped into buying them, that really hurts.
Yeah.
That really hurts.
Yep. And this year on the show, we have, of course, the one and only Shawn Klush, Cody Ray Slaughter, myself, and Ed Enoch is going to be there.
Who sang with Elvis.
Yep.
Who started the stamp, sang with Elvis.
Yep. And anybody else on tour?
We got, our young guy, Moses.
Moses Snow's going to be on tour.
Moses Snow's going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the Ambassadors. We got the Nashville Dream.
Yeah.
The girls who sing, and I'll tell you what, they are great singers. I'll tell you, we have really great vocals with the Stamps and the Dream there. That really gives us a different feel, and it allows us to do that gospel element that was so big in Elvis's music, which it's really great. So.
Yep. And great people backstage too. And that's always important on any tour, man. The people make it. And I have a great time hanging out with everyone. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad.
Any final words to the folks out there who are thinking about getting a ticket, not sure? And I mean, the holiday season's right around the corner, Omar, right?
Well, great
Christmas present.
Great Christmas present. Nice and easy. Yeah. Bam. And I'll tell you what, if you've got any Elvis fans around and you give them this for a Christmas present, they will love you forever. Yeah. Because this is the best gift you could give any Elvis fan.
Absolutely.
I mean, we cover all the categories. We cover early Elvis, military Elvis, black leather, the comeback special, the jumpsuit Elvis. I mean, we cover it all. The gospel Elvis. I mean, we make certain you get a well-rounded, enjoyable event.
Absolutely. Well, listen, it's an honor and a privilege to have been able to talk to you on this. I'll see you in January. I appreciate you so much, Omar.
Looking forward to it, Ryan. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Omar Farag. See you soon, brother.
Omar has left the building.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now we're joined with the one and only Dan Lentino, Ambassador Dan Lentino himself. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, Ryan. Nice to be with you on one of your podcasts here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. We haven't talked in a little while, so it's probably a good idea that we're conversing.
All right, quick pause right here. What you're seeing now is actually the end of a longer segment with Dan Lentino, but this isn't the full interview. We recorded a much longer conversation, and in that full episode, Dan reveals a story behind how, when, and where the entire ETA world may have actually started. You don't want to miss it. That full interview drops in about a week right here on ETA Files. But now, back to Dan Lentino.
This guy that we name, and I wanted to mention his name, all right, Marino. He was from the south side of Chicago. He was an usher for the White Sox, and he was an usher at several theaters for Andy Frayne, I think it was, usher. Right then, there was this giant company that would provide ushers for all these big events. Well, he became friends with a lot of people, this guy, and they were ushers over at the Star Plaza Theater, where they did the doo-wop shows and all these kind of shows. And our band backed up some of these doo-wop shows there for Omar before the Star Plaza was even built. We did it like in this church auditorium. And he said, "Hey, I got this buddy Omar, my buddy Omar. He does these big shows at the Star Plaza Theater, and I think you should do it. You guys should do a birthday tribute." And I talked to him, but he said, "Nah, nah, nah. But Dan, if you talk to him and tell him how big this Elvis thing is," he says, "I think you'll do it." He says, "Can you come with me?" And I said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna drive all the way, to the Indiana there to meet with this guy Omar." And I'm even thinking, what the heck's who's Omar anyway? I'm picturing him in my head, like, what does this guy look like? What does he do, this and that? But it was we were working for his brother Henry, doing this doo-wop stuff, just backing up these groups. We backed up Danny and the Juniors. God, I think I was 19 or 18 years old, maybe even 17. We drove to Indiana and we played this church and we backed up Danny and the Juniors. Then we backed up these other groups and they came in, this and that. But anyway, so then it all came together, and I drove out there. I didn't want to drive all that way, but I drove out there and just told Omar I said, this is a big thing. I said, Omar, I said, we're playing auditoriums now. He said, "Yeah, but Dan, this place got 3,300 seats." Listen, I said, "Omar, I think it's going to be good." He said, "Well," he says, "I got to have, stuff to advertise. I need stuff to advertise, Dan," because, he was a promoter. He was on the ground floor of all that. He worked with everybody. He worked with the stage hands. He worked with the unions. He worked with everybody. And he says, "I got to be able to, put this on the radio, and we got to be able to say something. And I got to have, what he was talking about was a hook, you know. He says, "Well, how many guys you know?" Because his oldies shows had at least 8, 9 different acts. And that was his thing. He had to rotate all these acts, so many guys, so he'd only have like 3 or 4 songs of each guy, doing their own hit songs. And that was his thing that he did. He says, "I got to get a lot of Elvis guys. Give me all the Elvis guys, you know." And I said, "There's really not that many, Omar. There's still not that many, you know." And but I said, "I do know there's some in Chicago that are doing it, you know." But I do know some in other cities too. "No, no, no, forget about those guys. We got enough guys around here, you know." But anyway, so but he was willing to do it, and we got to thank God for people like Omar, because again, it brought it to a different level. Really did bring it to a different level. And then, uh, you know, he was willing to put up the money for these shows to make it bigger and better. So, and at this time, I had the same thing in my head. I had the same thing in my head. So, you know, I became uh, friends with, we started using the Jordanaires at that time and other people and, JD and the stamps and all that kind of thing. And he was willing to put up the money to make it bigger and better. And he was willing to have a bigger band up there. Hey, Omar, I'd like to really bring horns because it's a big stage. Uh, they got a grand piano here, right? Because they had a big, beautiful grand piano there. Let's get the piano on stage and all this stuff. So if we're going to be in a big place, we got to present it big. So Omar and I were in agreement, and he was willing to pay for it. He was willing to pay for the radio spots, promote it, all this kind of thing. So we did. We tried to make it as big as possible and as good as we could. So we had Saucedo there. We had some other guys that were just coming up and start doing it because Saucedo had done it, and so they started doing it. And so he said, "Dan, we gotta have something else, gotta have something else." And it was the very first one, but I had just worked with Trent Carlini for the first time, and my phone was ringing off the hook the first time, that I started working with him. But we had just had him in this big contest in Quebec that we were in, and I said, Omar, I said, I got a guy. He's from Italy. I said, but right now he's living in the States here with his father in Florida. I said, but this guy's, this guy's got a gift. I said, and I said, I really think the more we expose this guy, the more he's going to really become something phenomenal. I said, I think that he could get, as big as Ricky. I said, and we could put him together. We put him together on the shows, this and that. So I think I had maybe some guys that weren't very popular. They just worked little places, but Omar wanted more guys. And then he says, well, I gotta be able to say something on the radio about him. What is he? And he said he is really from Italy. I said, yeah. And I said, well, what if we call him the Italian Elvis? He said, well, if you could get him to agree to call him the Italian Elvis, he said, it's perfect. Let's get him on there. I said, okay, great. Let's call him the Italian Elvis. And we got Chicago's very own Elvis. I said, we got an Elvis from Indiana. We got this guy. I got that guy. I said, so let's do it. And then, as we developed, we brought in, of course, DJ Fontana. He was in the very first one we ever did, from the first one until he passed away or couldn't do it anymore. We had DJ Fontana for years and years and years. I brought in the Jordanaires. I brought in so many people. And then Trent had amazing ideas. He said, Dan, I want to do something, bigger and better. I want to do this. So we brought Trent Carlini on. He rode a motorcycle on the stage. And then he said, I told my wife that one day I'm going to come in on a white horse, he said, and I'm gonna propose to you or this and that. So his wife. This girl was a soap opera star from Argentina, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to marry her. So he says, I always wanted to bring a horse on the stage. He said, let me come on with a horse. I said, I don't think Omar's going to agree to that. I said, I don't think he's going to agree. But Omar agreed to it. So, I mean, I called everywhere I could, and somebody told me, "Oh, we know a guy." I mean, I got a motorcycle on stage, and I think I can find a horse. So I found this guy, and it's the middle of winter. Now we got to get a guy to bring a horse to us in the middle of winter. Then we got to get the stage people to agree to it. We got to get the unions to agree to it. Got to get the theater who would agree with it. We got to get the insurance companies to agree to it. And but whatever, everything came together. This guy brought his horse out in a trailer. I said, same thing with the motorcycle. I had a buddy of mine ride his motorcycle out in January. You know, it's freezing outside, but he brought the thing there, and I said, "Oh my God, it didn't start. It wasn't starting when we were trying it on the thing there, but he got it working. He got it working, so it did work for the stage too. But anyway, so you know, it was amazing. But we had JD Sumner and the Stamps on stage with us. And he's on stage with us. We do the 2001, and all of a sudden, right next to JD, because he's on that side of the riser, Trent Carlini comes out riding a horse onto the stage. And JD Sumner says to the guys that are next to him, on all the stamps, we had the original stamps there, and you know, Ed Enoch's there, everyone. And he says, Elvis would be rolling over in his grave if he saw this. And but we did it. We pulled it off. It was an amazing thing. And it just made things bigger, better, and everything else. And you know, but you know, everyone else agreed that it was just it made it just something unique and special. And then Gordon Stoker from the Jordanaires had heard about it because we had him do that show for years and years and years too. And he said, "You know, Dan," he said, "Elvis was always doing new things. He said he wanted the latest technology, wanted the latest lighting, wanted the latest sound. He says, I think that Elvis eventually, you know, would have been doing stuff like that too. He says, and if he was, you know, if he didn't die so young, I think he would have been doing stuff like that too. So I didn't feel bad about it. I thought, let's do it, man. It's cool. It's crazy, but it's cool. So we did.
All right. Now I know how to approach Omar about the horse idea. All right.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, we got to redo it. We got to do the anniversary of the horse.
That's right.
Yeah.
You've had an incredible experience, man. This has been really fun catching up with you and hearing these stories. And I love the history of the Elvis birthday tribute tour, just from the standpoint of when I was first got involved in it in the late '90s, green as could be. You guys gave me a chance that I probably didn't deserve, but you gave it to me, and it literally had changed. It changed my life, and in many ways too, it was a grounding every year to be able to go there to these cities, the great people, the great fans that come out, perform with other amazing tribute artists. I got to see Shawn Klush for the first time in person. I was like mind blown. I met Rick Saucedo on my very first time, and he's the guy backstage who put his arm around me because I was shaking so nervous. He said, "Man, just go out and have some fun." You know, and just being able to work with you over the years and the band and all the guys, it's a special time of year, man. And as awesome as it is for the fans to be out there and watch this and enjoy it and celebrate the life and music of Elvis Presley. I got to tell you, behind the scenes on the stage side of things, it's really incredible. And there's so much rich history and, you know, and a lot of that's connected with both you and Omar. So,
Well, you know, Ryan, you've been a huge part of it all these years that you've been on this tour, and you know, we don't want to ever do one without you. Of course, we you had to take a break for a very good reason there to star in the movie The Identical, and we were all rooting for you, and we even mentioned you on the stage there a couple times, and I know there was a time period where we had to keep everything on the QT for a while there, but it was such an amazing thing to have you back on the stage. It's going to be amazing again to have you back on the stage this year. And, you know, as long as there's an audience and as long as there's people who want to share with us, you know, the music and the memory of Elvis, we're going to be doing it. And as many times as we can, we're going to include the people who also shared the stage with Elvis. And as we were mentioning about J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet, this year, if you don't mind me saying, we're very, very fortunate because every show on the Elvis Tribute Artist Spectacular Birthday Edition this year, on the 91st birthday of Elvis, we are going to feature Ed Enoch, who was actually the lead singer of the Stamps Quartet. You know what he did with Elvis, how many times he recorded with Elvis, how many times he took the stage with Elvis. You can hear so many of Elvis's recordings, especially all of his live recordings, everything from Aloha to every one of them that included Eddie Knox's voice on there. He'll be on the stage with us. He'll be sharing some very special memories of him on stage with Elvis, some things that the fans may have never heard before. Ed himself has gotten emotional on the shows that we've done. I know we were in Collingwood, Canada with him and on the stage with him. And, he got emotional there. And, he shared it with me and such amazing things that he shared with me, over the years here. Same thing with Joe Esposito and everyone that we had on the stage with us. Jerry Schilling, everybody else that shared, Joe Gershow, everybody who shared the stage with Elvis that we've had the honor of bringing on stage with us. These people work with Elvis. And, after Elvis died, they didn't know what they were going to do. And these types of shows that we do, it gave them another platform to share the music, share the memories that they had with Elvis. And I made it my lifelong philosophy that I'm not going to allow these people to stop sharing with the world what they share in the world, their voices, their drumming, whatever they can do, their bass playing. Uh, they needed to do this, and I'm so glad that we've provided this platform, and it's been magical for us. I mean, all the times you share the stage singing Peace in the Valley with the people whose voices were on it and everything else, and everything else, the gospel shows that we did. Your gospel performances there were just amazing. And for the guys who have never been on the birthday tours with us, they can just only imagine what it's like to be on stage and tell us, you can tell us, I mean, what was it like doing Swing Down Sweet Chariot and the gospel, thing from the 68 special and everything else? Uh, I mean, tell us about your feeling on it.
Well, I can tell you this. As someone who can be socially awkward and shy, the thing that was really awesome about all these experiences with the Jordanaires, and DJ Fontana, Ed Enoch, all these people that we performed with over the years, the Sweet Inspirations,
Right.
so many, is that I don't necessarily belong on the stage with these people. And that's, I'm not saying that for people to say, no, no, you do. No, I'm saying I really don't belong on the stage with these people, but having your heart in the right place at least gives you the opportunity to do that. But I'll tell you what's so amazing. The thing the memories, I guess, that really last, it's not even so much about the performance, but is getting to know them backstage as the human beings as they are, hearing their own personal stories about their time with Elvis, waking up in the morning, eating soup with DJ just to hear some stories, or
Right.
Ray Walker calling saying, "Hey man, how you doing?" Or all these different things that happened, in the relationships that were built, man, it's priceless.
It is. It really is. Absolutely. And, you know, uh, this January is going to be no exception. Ryan, I'm so looking forward to it. I look forward to it every year. People don't realize that there's months and months and months of work that go into these things. But just to hear, sorry about that, I accidentally hit my keyboard or something there. But in any event, um, for the audience, the audiences, and they have to understand every performer that's on there. We have an amazing lineup this time. Of course, we're bringing Shawn Klush back. Um, Ryan Pelton, another staple on this tour. We have a young man, just 22 years old. Talk about the next generation of Elvis performers. 22 years old, massive Elvis fans, so authentic in his performance. His name is Moses Snow. So it's something new for a lot of you. He'll be on every night of the tour. Um, he comes on and it just brings back that all the passion and energy that Elvis and nervousness that Elvis had when he first performed. Just incredible that these young guys are all coming out. I had an opportunity to sit there while the judging was going on at the last Ultimate Elvis um, Tribute Artist Championship. And the guys that were on that show, the finals, even just in the semifinals, the performers, the what they put into their study, they're all students of Elvis Presley. They really are, uh, because they try, every nuance they try to get, every memory that they have, they all bring it onto the stage with them, everything they've seen Elvis do. And it's very special for them to be doing this. They are excited to be performing this music just as much as you, the fans out there, are excited to hear this music. When we stand up there and play this music, I mean, we're excited. We love it. We love it, even though we've been doing it for years. It's always new to us. And I have an advantage point from the stage that's like no other because I am standing right over the right shoulder of the Elvis performer. I can look to my left and I could see on stage left, I can see and hear, you know, the Stamps Quartet. I can see the smile on Ed Enoch's face. All the years that DJ was there, um, I could look over to DJ and I could see him whacking those drums, whacking that snare drum like it's his first time. I mean, like he's playing, you ain't nothing but a hound dog for the first time on the Ed Sullivan show. I mean, that's the excitement and the energy that people like DJ Fontana brought to us all those years on the stage. And you're going to see that same type of energy now. And I'm going to let a cat out of the bag here. Can you get your cat to come on here? I'm sorry.
This is the only
So,
time that I don't have a cat
all
about.
right,
Yeah.
here it is. Here it is. Um, we're very, very fortunate. We talked about the Star Plaza Theater where we started the Elvis birthday tributes all those years ago. Now, the Star Plaza Theater is no longer with us, but there's a young man, and he's in his 20s, very early 20s, right, right, Ryan? Maybe
Yeah.
even his mid 20s. And what I'm going to tell you is this. There's a young man this year from Indiana, northern Indiana, and he actually won at Graceland, on stage at Graceland. We're in Elvis's backyard now. We're actually in his front yard. And this is a very special place for every Elvis performer to every Elvis fan. So when these guys are doing that, they're giving it their all. They're giving it their blood, their sweat, their tears. They're giving it everything. Every emotion they pour into that stage. And so on this year's championship that we just had, there was a gentleman that won from Northern Indiana. So Omar and I have asked this gentleman to be a very special guest. So he's going to be a special guest on the majority of our performances, all the theaters that we're playing. Uh, and you're going to get to see him perform. Uh, it's going to be an abbreviated show. He's a special guest on the show, but you're going to enjoy every minute of it. And I'm going to say right here, right now, that Graceland's current Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Championship champion, none other than the amazing Jimmy Holmes, is going to be joining us for some very special numbers on the tour. You're going to have to go to ETAspectacular.com soon. You'll be able to get the exact cities that Jimmy Holmes will be performing in the show as our very special guest, along with Shawn Klush, of course, the Ed Enoch, I should say, with the Stamps Quartet, the entire band, the Fabulous Ambassadors. He's going to be with the Nashville Dreams and up there. And of course, you're going to be able to get to see Ryan Pelton. But this year, we're also going to be welcoming back to the birthday tour by overwhelming popular demand, Cody Ray Slaughter. So we're going to have more Elvis tribute artists than ever are going to be doing this thing, plus the addition on most of the shows this time, we're going to have Jimmy Holmes. And it's just going to be amazing. And for all of you who would like to see all of the shows that we're doing in January, you could see them on the on Shawn Klush's website, of course, which is ShawnKlush.com, and Ryan Klush. I'm sorry, Ryan Klush. Ryan Pelton.
We're not married yet. Okay, we're not married yet.
All right. We're not yet, but they are very close, though.
Yes.
These guys are very, very close. Matter of fact, they drove together on almost the entire tour last year, which is not going to happen this year. And Shawn says, "What? What are you talking about? Me and Ryan? We can't, Ryan's not going to drive me?" I said, "Ryan is doing something that's very, very secretive." But I said, "Of course, you're going to be with him backstage and you're going to be with him around a hotel. You're going to be sharing some soup together, just like you guys did with DJ." But it's going to be a good time no matter what. And listen, everybody out there, this is really going to be, I think this is going to be one of the best, biggest, and one of the best of all of them, because I don't know, it's just something seems different this year. There's something magical happening. You know, Baz Luhrmann is going to be introducing all those things that nobody's ever seen, nobody's ever heard, all those songs, all those rehearsal moments. And I think that's going to make it extra special. But with Ed Enoch on it this year, on every single one of them, I think that alone brings every Elvis guy that's on the stage, every Elvis tribute artist, it makes them do their best because it's magical to them. When they hear Ed's voice, when they hear the Stamps, when they hear the big band on the stage, when they hear all the vocalists on the stage, they just step it up. It is magical, right, Ryan? You can
Absolutely.
attest.
Absolutely. And it's there's an energy that happens. And I think it's intrinsic to Elvis Presley. Whenever you get guys on stage, people in an audience, and his music that lives on despite the fact that he's been gone since 1977. The music truly does live on, Dan. And when you combine all those, something special happens every night. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are starting our actual birthday tribute. We're starting that in Huntsville this year. And it's actually going to be what Huntsville is calling the Elvis Event of the Year. And we have Larry Strickland as our very special guest there. And our special guest, Mr. Ryan Pelton, will also be back there. We didn't want to do that one without Ryan Pelton. And then we go to New York after that, and so many other cities after Omar's tribute. But I want to say thank you to Omar since we brought it up when we gave a little bit of history. We really wouldn't have been able to do that birthday tribute without Omar bringing it to the next level. So Omar, I know you were on a previous one of Ryan's platforms, and it's other people like Ryan who are making a platform now with his ETA podcast beside his Ryan Files. Ryan, thank you for giving all these Elvis entertainers a platform out there. And I have striven to do that as well. But with your technology, Ryan, and now that you could do it with the world, I have to get on an airplane to share it with the world most of the time. And And I think we should bring you to England, Ryan.
I'd
I
love it.
know you'd go over tremendously there, and I'm going to make it my goal to try to get you to come there with us. I know you're a busy, busy guy, but I intend to do what you're doing now to get all these guys on a platform. When I see a guy that I have what I refer to as the gift, I promise everybody out there I'm going to continue for as long as I can. If I see that gift out there and it's happening there right now. It's happening while everybody is sitting there waiting for the birthday tribute to start. There are guys that are coming out that can share something uh, with the Elvis world that is out there. But we need you to continue to buy tickets to all of these big shows that we're doing, all of the small shows, even that are coming to your own areas. And I don't care how small the show is, when you come there and you support it, you are bringing the music of Elvis to the next generation. Share the music with your friends, with your families. The reason that we're here today is because each and every one of you have shared this wonderful music and these wonderful concerts that we're doing right now. Even Graceland has really gotten behind this thing and they support this thing. When you share this music with this next generation, that is why the music of Elvis will live on and on and on, because all of you are bringing it to the next generation of Elvis fans. And I have seen the people and I've heard their stories and I've seen the families that come to these things that we're doing, and I ask them that question when they have their entire family there. I said, "How many generations of you are here today?" These people will tell me 3 generations. Sometimes it's 2 generations. Sometimes it's 4 generations. And the moms will be sharing it with the kids. And I asked the moms and the dads, well, how is it that your children are here today? How is it that your grandchildren are here today? And they tell me, and how is it that your grandparents are here today? And they tell me, our moms and our dads shared this music. I've seen the excitement on their faces when they play the records for me, when an Elvis movie comes on, when one of the Elvis concerts come on television, when the new Elvis movie came on. Um, their faces have showed me, have brought me to Elvis. They brought me to the concerts. They brought me to an Elvis concert when I was 5 years old or 4 years old or 6 years old, 7 years old, whatever it is. They bring me to these events at Elvis every year. They bring me on the tour every year. So I bring my kids on tour. Now they're bringing their grandchildren to the tours at Graceland. So thank you. Thank you for bringing it to the next generation. Elvis, the next generation.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. The 2026 Elvis Birthday Tribute Artist Spectacular is going to be awesome. It's in January. On the 8th, we'll be in Cleveland, Ohio. The 9th, Indianapolis, Indiana. The 10th, Cincinnati, Ohio. The 11th, Louisville, Kentucky. The 15th, Skokie, Illinois. 16th, Rockford, Illinois. 17th, Aurora, Illinois. And the 18th, Gary, Indiana. ETA artist Elvis Tribute Artist Spectacular.com. ETA, what is it, Dan?
ETA Spectacular.com. The
Yep.
full title is Elvis Tribute Artist Spectacular. And this, of course, is the birthday edition
Yep.
celebrating what would be, and this is incredible just to even say it, the 91st birthday of the king of rock and roll. It's amazing that we're still here. We're doing it. We're sharing that magic of Elvis to everybody that we can. And hey, if you've never seen this show before, if your children have never seen it, bring them. This is great family entertainment. You can bring everybody. This is something that everybody in the family can share. I'll guarantee it. We've had so many, and Ryan can attest to this. We have so many young people coming now to the shows. It's absolutely incredible. Since the movie come out, the Baz Luhrmann movie, Austin Butler, who I got an opportunity to meet and work with myself, just did an incredible thing. in that movie, he had, I really think that if you bring your kids, you're going to be, and grandchildren, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, as you were when your parents brought you, just how much they're going to enjoy this, because we have young people on stage and they're going to see a lot of young people off the stage. Most importantly, they're going to see the smile that's on your face as well. And you're going to see that same smile that you had, you're going to now see it on your children. So thank you. Thank you for spreading this music. It's my goal to keep doing this for as long as I can. And here's Ryan. How many years later, Ryan, than you started it your first day? And here you are doing it. And I tell you, the reaction that Ryan has on that stage every night, and I'm right there next to him, right over his right-hand shoulder, and I see him even walk on that stage, and it's like, whoa, it's like this. The people have never seen him before, and there's a reason for that. Ryan, you continue to bring that magic with you. You continue to share the gift of Elvis inside you, and you bring it to everyone that you perform to. And now you're bringing it to every one of your podcasts, which is a great thing. Thank you for bringing that technology that we have in here now. And we got to do this. We got to do this. One day we got to do the birthday tribute, and we got to do some type of a satellite or live broadcast where we can do it. Oh, there's a little guy in the back. Come on over here, little guy.
I talk to Omar about it all the time. Maybe someday we'll hook it up, Dan. Who's this?
Say hi, I'm back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the first time ever to Ryan Pelton's audience. This is the mighty Quinn, and this is my better half right here. This beautiful young lady. She's an angel and a blessing in my life, and her name is Carrie Lentino.
Awesome. I'm glad my cats aren't around right now. I don't know what would happen. They'd be jealous. So
Quinn loves kitties.
He loves them.
He loves kitties.
I'm not worried about Quinn.
No, I don't think we'd get a bark out of him. I think that he'd really love it.
Awesome.
He'd really love it. Say hi, Quinn. Quinn. All right, Ryan, thank you very much for your time and your energy and your belief in the music and the magic of Elvis Presley.
Absolutely. Folks, get your tickets for Christmas, great Christmas gifts, but join us in January. You'll get to see Shawn Klush, myself, Cody Ray Slaughter, Moses Snow, Jimmy Holmes, and this gentleman on the other screen, the one and only Dan Lentino. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, this is great. I'll see everybody out there soon. I'll see you at the birthday tribute. But what Ryan's just said about Christmas, this makes it an amazing stocking stuffer. I mean, concert tickets that so many people have told me when they come to the shows, oh my gosh, my husband gave me the tickets for Christmas, or our daughter bought us these tickets for Christmas. So share it with us. You take care. See you there.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching today's special ETA Files episode, and make sure you come back for the full sit down with Dan Lentino. It's one of the most fascinating pieces of ETA history you'll ever see. I'll see you next week right here on ETA Files. Thanks for tuning in this week to the ETA Files. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the ETA Files community. And if you're looking for something a little different, be sure to stop by my podcast, The Ryan Files. Keep rocking, my friends, and I'll see you next week with another story from the Elvis Tribute Artist world. In the meantime, check out these video links below.